Influence here today. I got PS22 MMC's Ventus, which is their last member of the Protectobots blades. And great figure. I love the way it looks. I like the way, at first I didn't like these arms really, and I know it's accurate, but there's a lot of stuff hanging off of them. But I think they take care of it well. It's actually not as clean as a MMC bot is usually, but like I said, I think that's because it's a lot here anyway to turn into a helicopter, and the way it looks, great engineering. I really like it. It is a little bit more complicated than I'm used to MMC doing, but I think it was nothing they could do about it because of what they had to do. Had to fit the fist in, had to fit the arm mode, helicopter mode, and robot mode. So I think they did a fantastic job. And I will be combining this. I won't show the combine mode here. I will be having two separate videos for Defensor. One combining them all together, and then one doing a separate review, because it just gets too much to do both, to combine them all together and transform them all in one video and then do the whole review of the robot. I'm tired on the second end, where I should be dedicating, more criticism and just, I feel like I should be fresh for the review of the combiner. All right, so let's get it started. Enough talking.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
As we do, let's start with accessories. And there's three main accessories, which are these guns, two here and one here. These guns stay here with a little tab right there. It's not great. It does fall off, but I mean, you can do it. So you have that gun, and this gun here, he holds it with the tab, of course, that goes back, which I like that tab because it seems to work really well.
Subscribe.
It's just that big piece. It's more like a space, and it frictions in, but it seems to work really well. They've done it with their bots. Let's see. So these two guns are the same. You get two of them, and they bend down like this for helicopter mode to be put on, and I will show that later. But yeah, it's just all white. I don't even know if it's painted. Just white plastic. And then you have the regular gun, which stores on helicopter as well, and you can move this like this. I guess I don't know, if under the helicopter, if you want this piece up, and it comes off. So there's that. Got a card here. Text back, same. Directions are pretty nice. I use their official video, so there's that. Also, shout out to TM Reviews. Sony helped me with the arms because I was getting stuck. They were eating me up. So I had went to his video to see how he did the arms, and I could see it a little bit better. Or I don't know if he explained it a little bit better. But he always does a good job. So I saw he had a video up. But yeah, I didn't look at nothing else. I try to go on reviews blind without having any influence from other reviewers. But I usually check out reviewers that I know if I do run into trouble, if they've already have a video up. So here we have some faces. You get two with him and the one that's on him. This is actually the one that comes on him, which is kind of stoic. And this is like a smile, and the one I have on him is like a yelling face, which is pretty nice. You also get faces, I believe, for Groove. I think this is Groove, or maybe it's alternative to his face. I haven't tried it yet because my Groove is not in robot mode, and I don't think I'm gonna transform. I think it's easier to transform in limb mode from the vehicle. So I don't know. Let me know if you know. But yeah, that's what I think. I think I remember his face looking like this. So face, I like this face better. I put it on him. It's nice. It's nice looking. I do like the paint. Not much paint on this guy, but is a little. His eyes are painted. I think the face is painted. It's kind of blue and then like a metallic blue for the eyes. I definitely like his head sculpt. It's nice. Not much else paint. Paint here, I believe, or maybe that's red plastic. I think a lot of this is red plastic. Maybe some paint on there, or maybe the whole thing's painted. I think it's red and white plastic though. Not certain. Now there are a few things with this guy, like these things often, if you push them together, they're tighter so they don't move as much, but they'll move around as you. And there's no real way. It's no place to put these. When you first get this, it might not be snapped on. Mine wasn't snapped on, but it's easy to figure out in all of this stuff. Like there's places for everything right here. This wasn't on. It's kind of weird because you do have to bend it over to get it here. There's a little notch there, but it's still not. To have it tight, you have to like kind of bend it over and then put it in, and then it's right. Let's compare this to the Team. All but Groove. Groove is in vehicle mode, and I'm not changing him for this review because he's about to go in limb mode. So I actually like this version of Streetwise with these guys because it kind of adds a little difference. Not that they're all the same, but I kind of like the different color. And here's Groove. Put his kickstand out. And there we go with that. That's a pretty nice looking Team. Man, I will be transforming him in robot because these are my robot modes. Using X-Transbots as the combined mode. I just think these guys look great, and these will be my robot modes on the shelf. Man, I sat here for like 5 minutes. I had to cut it out. Just looking at these guys. Move back a little bit. Long time coming for some masterpiece Protectobots. So let's do articulation. So head goes up like that. Goes down. It's on a ball joint. I think it's on a hinge too. Yeah, it's a hinge ball joint. So it goes kind of like that. You get side to side action and of course 360 action. Exorcist style. Come up, get 90 degrees, even with all the kibble. You can move the arm 360, even with the blades back here. You just have to, it can't be straight like this, but it's not bad. It's not a bad range of motion. Got biceps over here, and this stuff moves too, so you can put it like farther back if you want it, or, just up where it's supposed to be. Say you're trying to get a better pose. This has ratchets at the elbow, which you get easier to see this way than this way, as you can see. So you get a good range above 90. I'm not sure why they put ratchets. I'm not mad at it. I guess but the pistols aren't that heavy. You get a butterfly. Comes out like that. That's cool. Hands, I think, are normal for MMC. You got the thumb on the ball joint. You have trigger finger individual. Oh no, they're all individual, but they're curled. So they all move individually, but the fingers don't move. Keep the hand like that for transformation. Waist, even with all this, it's just out the way, so you can get a waist 360. You can get an ab crunch, very, very deep, and nothing else. Skirts. Now, skirts are kind of bothersome to me because they're involved in the transformation, and this skirt comes down like this. It's supposed to come down for transformation, but it does do this, and it comes off this tab here. You can push it, but while you're manipulating, it will come off. See? Like if you're trying to raise it up. So let me push that. The real skirt is right here. And on the sides, you don't even have to put the side skirts up in order to get the range that you want, which is the splits. That's what I was saying. I don't even know if you got to put these up. Yeah, but you can get that much without putting them up. Then you have back skirts as well, but it's one skirt that you can put up. Of course, it has the blades, so it's not quite the hurdles. But technically, you could get it. Knees. 90 degrees. You got a thigh right here. This swivel doesn't feel great. It gets to here and then it feels, I don't know if it's just tight or what, but it feels like it's fighting you. Oh, there you go. Maybe I just needed to move it more. I don't know. But this slides. There's a button here that you need to push in to slide this up. In my experience with this, 2x transformer experience, I didn't really have to push the buttons to make them go up, but one of them, I think, catches. Now, I don't know in the long run. It doesn't seem to matter because, never mind. Maybe I didn't have it down. No, this one. Yeah, see, this one, I put it all the way down. I don't have to push it. And it seems to stay. Hopefully, it'll stay that way. This one, I think I had to push this right in here because it kind of like catches and you got to squeeze them. It's very hard. Hopefully, I don't forget to do that during the transformation. Sometimes I do until I'm folding the legs. I don't know. I just forget. Hopefully, now that I said something, I won't. Where was I? Knee. We did the knee. That's nothing. I mean, that ain't nothing, but nothing right now. And we have the toe. You have a toe tilt, kind of for transformation. You have a rocker that is kind of hard because it is the fist. So it only moves that much because this is on, the fist is on this thing. And when you move the rocker, it kind of jets this out because this has a peg right here. It's not really a peg, it's just a space. I mean, minor complaints. I think he looks great. And then you see from the back, even with all the kibble and stuff. Like I said, I think he still looks great. Alrighty, so transformation. These arms can be a beast. They are kind of hard. I mean, hard to understand. So just move these things around. I kind of get these arms together before I even mess with this. Because you got to put this hand in kind of how you used to. So to put the hand in, you got to put the thumb up like this and like that. And then squeeze the hand. So that's how that will go in a minute. But this stuff here can move this out. It's on there. So you kind of get all of this around. And what makes this so hard is you got to pull this stuff out and it has to wrap around stuff and it has to move around things. So I'm sure maybe somebody found a better way, but you can move that piece out and then move this piece kind of like this. I move this around. I take this off. They didn't say to, but I just want it out of my way. And you can't really do anything with it yet because you have to do something like this. But I do it like that so I can get it out of my way so I can do all of this without worrying about it. Now, be careful because if you put too much pressure on it, you could break it if you're doing it like this, if you're following me. But this, it's intuitive, but it's not intuitive. So let's just turn this arm like this, get this opened. My bad. Get that open like that. And that's going to stay like this. Then with this arm, and it just stays like, wait, yeah. Make sure the thumb is up here because it fits in like that. And it's just going to stay like that. and then make it flat up here. Now with this thing, you can kind of tell, move it back down, move this over to get it out of your way, because you have to move this around. Now this is where it can get tricky, because you're trying not to hit any of this stuff. And I think it only, I don't know, this way it hits. It only moves one way too. So that's where you can kind of get stuck too. And just move that around, and here you go. Now there's tabs, because eventually this is how it's going to fit. You see all of this? Yeah, like just like this. And then there's tabs. The tabs don't work really great because it's just really a guide, because when you get it in where it's supposed to go at the end of the transformation, there's a tab here that tabs in that kind of keeps it together more than anything else. But this is the configure that you want, and this will be moved down here, and this will move like this. And once you get it together, you can figure it out and see. You also want to pull these like that for helicopter mode. Makes the sleds longer. I guess that's what they're called. I don't know. That's what they look like, skis, sleds, or whatever. I don't know what they call for planes or helicopters. But again, over here, convoluted explanation. I'll try to explain it better. Just open this, move this, make sure the thumb is like that, because it just sits there, because it's gonna hide. Move this out. Again, move this like this. This bottom piece portion is going to be like this and create that. So you know you got that where it needs to be. This you need to move out a little bit in order to get this piece out. And like I said, you got to move this kind of around stuff. I haven't really, it's a lot there. So just be careful, because these are on double hinges and not feeling the greatest double hinge. Now when you're moving this, you got to move it a certain way. I moved it the right way this time. And then it's kind of, no, you have to move this. This peg right here should be in that. So if you have it like this, because these things move all over, this moves all over, and at the end you're going to kind of have to adjust it to move it up into the body. So there we go, like that. Right here you can pull up. There's a little hook right here that hooks on to that bar, to the arm bar. That's kind of new, different. So as you're moving this out, you can move this around his head. If you want it hidden. This portion, move it like that. And then once you have it all the way up, you can move this all the way. And this comes off too right there by, you know, it's not supposed to come off like that, but it does. So then when you have this like this, you move these pieces, is the chest pieces. You kind of move this up. Now they kind of get stuck a little while you're moving it, so you might feel like you're breaking it, but it should encase the head like that. And then the clamps that clamped onto the bar right here go like that, fold in, and should be like this. Now you have this here, this piece. I'm gonna move that down, actually move this down, slide this down all the way, and then you can move this down into there like that. Move this out here. This will move around. You'll figure it out in a minute when you move it down and get it together. Move this out of here, because you want to get all this stuff. You can move this up too now. This also feels tight, but once you do it, you'll see. You move this out of here. It's tabbed on, 2 tabs right there, so it may feel tight as well. I know sometimes I baby my figures when I don't know what's going on. So you move that down, move this together. Has a little engine part right there to make it look like an engine on the back. And you can just move this down. It won't peg in right now, but you want to get this front together. Now move this. It's kind of intuitive. You see all this together, and then you move this around here and form that front like that. Now this is on a slider. Wait, is this on a slider? Yeah, you got to slide it back. Always get it confused. Slide this so this part goes back, and you can see right there that slider. So you want it all the way like this, because now you're gonna, and you want to slide this down. I don't think I showed that on this bar, the arms. So you want to pull this out like that, because if you don't, you won't be able to slide this down, because it's in a little gap there. I know this helicopter blade. You can put this blade down like that on there. There's a little tab and it tabs in, and then I'll show you how to do this in a second. But yeah, like I was saying, you pull this out of here, and then you can slide this down, and you know, you kind of, oh, that slid down very easily that time. It was hard the first time. Again, over here, just pull that out a little bit, and then you slide it down all the way, because then you can kind of see, like I said, it gets, after these arms, it kind of gets intuitive. I say kind of, because it is kind of. These arms are going to fold in and go under here. As you're folding this, you'll see you want to move this around, because this bottom half of the arm is going to be up under here in a different way than the rest of the arm. Again, I keep favorite word, intuitive. It's true though. It's, as you're moving it, you can see everything where everything's supposed to be. The one thing I would say is put this in here now, because it's hard to do later. So it fits right here in this little space, and it'll clamp together in the space like that. It kind of stays in there tight, so it's not as hard. But move this in first, show it from this side. So as you're moving, that's when you move all of the top half, and you kind of get that underneath. Move this. Like I said, this is kind of a suggested peg, but this peg right here goes into the helicopter, and I mean the bottom piece right here, and that's what really helps it. So as you're moving this in, you can see how all of that encapsulated. Move this around here, this like this. This is moving around as well. There's a tab on this thing that goes into the side right there, and you see it makes all the difference. And this is a gripe, because this peg is not great. So you get a little gap right there. I mean, you can fix it once you get it cleaned up, get everything where it needs to be, but it still stays there a little. See, you know, I mean, it's nitpicky. And make sure, the first time I did this, I had this like this, and I wasn't paying attention. And I was trying to put it in, it wasn't going in, and then finally I like jammed it in, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay. Yeah, that was a bout of dumbness there, but gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. So yeah, again, move this. I would move this like this, because then as you're moving it down, then you can get it in. It's a lot going on. But as you can see, then you get these out like this, and that's it. Now for this helicopter, you move this out, because now you're going to want to move these up, and it's going to flatten out the blades. And these are tight, and also have the blades on the side, not like I had it, because then it'll hit stuff. But then once you pull that all the way up, then you can fold the blades back in, and now they're where they need to be. The legs are actually quite easy, but it does, you can move this up now so you can get into all this. So you want to move this up here so it'll stay here, because then you're going to move this down and you can move this out the side skirts. Then you just move this around like that. Now these push up because they're going to go into here and sit like this. Yeah, they sit like this in this cavity to make room. Make sure this is straight, because this piece moves, I mean the bottom half moves and this half moves. Move these pieces up and then this goes down like this. Then this goes like this. And there you have that. Now you can move this back down. I think you're gonna have to move it a little bit out, but it shouldn't be out that far because it still has to fit in here. Now here's where you want to move the legs up before you even mess with anything, because if you do have to push this button, it's super hard. So this one I don't think I have to push. So that one I just moved up. It's kind of on the friction. This I think I have to push, and this button is kind of difficult. There we go. It seems to stay once you push it, and then you can push it up. But that's the hard part, pushing this button and then pushing it up. Yeah. So when I push it in, it seems to stay a little, and then you can push all these up. So now you're good. Now you're like this. And now these legs are super easy and intuitive, my favorite word today. So you move this up here and move this in. Move this up, move it down, and you can push it in a little bit on that slider. Or I should say move it down like this and then push it in on that slider. So it's like this. Now the inside, you open up, untab this, and then you spin this, spinning right here on the bottom. Get it here like this. Now this has a tab right there that tabs into this little bar right there. If you got it right, you gotta get this correct. There we go. Tab that in, because the fist moves kind of independently like that sometimes. Now you move this up, move this out, and you can, this will probably get messed up, but you can pull these kind of out and around and then push them back in to keep them like this. Or you can move them out, they spin. But then you move this tail all the way out like that. Then there's a little peg right here that keeps this from folding in on itself, you know, down, around. You can move this out if you want, but it'll get messed up. Again, move this down, flip this around, move this down, push it in like that. Pull this out, move it like this. Make sure everything's where it needs to be. There's a little tab here that goes into this little space, so it kind of lines it up for you, so you know. And then there's the tab in there that you have to get in and figure it out. I don't know why this tab isn't going in. Got to make sure it's down and all this stuff is around. You see how the feet create that? And you move this down here and you flip this one out to keep it from bending down. Put this up. Now I'll just put these together like that, like this. Transformation isn't hard. It kind of looks harder. The arms looks harder than they are, I can say. The legs are nothing. Like, they're really easy. It's a lot of steps. I do like the transformation. So now you're going to move this in here like this. It's going to move up. Make sure you can get everything, fit everything in. This moves in there like that. But you got to move this all the way up like that. And you can see inside how this stuff just stays. It should. And then you're moving this down like that. Then moving this down like this. And there you go. 2 tabs on the sides here. These little things on the knees go through here to show through. Move that down. Tabs on the top right here. Tabs in the back right here. And I think you move these back out. They're always going to fall down. And if you didn't do the sleds, because I didn't, or the skis, pull these out. And it gives you a bigger base. A bigger... Because if you don't, it'll be falling back like this. Like you push it together, how it is in robot mode, you get that. So if you don't pull the skis out, you're not going to have a wide enough. Now stuff does kind of, I think it's the case of you got to have everything exactly right. And maybe I don't. So I'm going to let that slide. Because they usually make a good bot and it's usually not jacked up. But yeah, here we go. Helicopter mode. Blades spin. I love the way this looks. I like what they achieved. You have gun here. Now you can bring in these guns as well. And you bend the handles. And there's 2 little pegs, right? Not pegs, but yeah, peg holes that you flip out. Flip them up from the bottom. I was pulling on them from the top, like for hours. No, not for hours, but once you get it up, you can put this all the way in and they stay really tight. And then you can push it all the way up or have it however you want. Just adjust it. And I think that looks good. I think I'm not keen on guns on vehicle modes, but in this particular case, some cases it makes sense. You might have to shoot somebody while you're rescuing. So, hey. And I think the front gun looks good anyway. Kind of looks like a rescue tech helicopter. Helicopters have guns. Maybe they turned it into a rescue helicopter. I don't know. But there we go. This thing, you see this thing gets kind of out of whack. So you can make this like this. It does spin. Does it spin? Well, it spins kind of good. So you can spin them both at the same time. Does it spin as well as this? This one spins like, a toy chopper. So bring in the only other one I have. And of course, this does not scale great. It's giant motorcycle for a giant person. I guess for a transformer. So it's a motorcycle. And of course, vehicles like this are never gonna scale right because of the nature of it. Just like the motorcycle. Motorcycle is never gonna scale right, or you have a little behind transformer. So helicopter is on the other end. It won't be big enough. I don't really have to say yay or nay. Just few minor complaints, but I do like what they did, and the bot looks good to me. So here we go. Defensor done, or bot mode's done for me. All right, so I'll get up with you in the next one. Look out for my review for ARM, or not ARM. It will be for ARM, but all of them, the combined modes, and then my review for Defensor. All right, so thanks for watching again, and I will get up with you in another one. Peace.